When I look at the heavens, when I look at the heavens, when I look at the heavens,
when I look at the heavens, the moon and stars, I shout your name, I praise your name, oh God. When I look at the oceans, the beasts of the sea, I shout your name, I praise your name, oh Lord my God.
Welcome to Come and Relax with HeCoin, sponsored by Health Education and Counseling Institute, the premier online educational institution in Jamaica, the Caribbean and beyond. Come and Relax with HeCoin is an interview and discussion segment which focuses on topical issues which may be controversial on health, aggression in proximity relationships, theology, business, politics, music, tourism and hospitality, or issues which are relevant to you or listening audience. This program is aired this and every Thursday at this time on this station and comes to you on several international media houses in the world through various platforms on website, YouTube, and Facebook. I'll be your host, Ambassador Professor Reverend Dr. Colin O'Neill Jarrett from Jamaica, President and CEO of this 33-year-old institution. HeCoin, reaching people where they are, leading them to where they should go.
I shout your name, I praise your name, oh God. When I look at the mountains, the sky and sea, I shout your name, I praise your name.
Oh Lord my God, you made humanity
A little less than your divinity.
Oh Lord my God, we marvel, you are great. You crown us with your glory and your love.
For me, it's a must listen, so no matter where I am in Texas, whether I'm driving on the highway or in my kitchen, I'm going to tune in on Thursday at 7:30. I know whatever the topic is, I'm going to learn something.
Greetings and welcome to Come and Relax with HeCoin, which comes to you today from Mansell East meets West Indian Restaurant, Shop 16A, Sonis Plaza, Main Street, Oteria, St. Anne, Jamaica. Call Latoya or Hensel, right? For the restaurant booking at 1-876-601-2612 or email info@carwhja.net. Excellent setting here at Mansell East meets West Indian Restaurant for meetings, weddings, and other such events. I'm your host, Ambassador Professor Reverend Dr. Colin O'Neill Jarrett. Our apologies for being late today, but we had technical internet issues from St. Kitts, which is the main source of this platform. Your name is so strong, a waymaker, game changer, Jesus. To you belong all power, Jesus. Whenever I call your name, you make a way. Your name is strong, and it's a strong tower. This song has ministered to me even while we were having internet issues, and the Lord said, I will make the way. Let me thank the following media houses for airing Come and Relax with HeCoin: RCP Internet Radio and TV, YouTube and Facebook, TDN TV on vstreams.com, TDN TV on Facebook, TDN Network 1 on YouTube, UFDV Gospel, and DCM Internet Radio and TV. Our listening audience has been climbing every week. Thanks to you, we cherish your presence. Continue sharing this link with others. From time to time, you will hear familiar sounds, reminding you that we are in Mansell East meets West Indian Restaurant, smack in the middle of the Garden Parish of Oteria, St. Anne, Jamaica. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Inja Jamnani, a proud graduate of HeCoin Montego Bay Campus, Jamaica, where I did a 6-month course in Elderly Care International Diploma Level 2. What I love about the program is that it was intriguing. The environment was soothing, and the tutors are registered nurses with degrees and have a wide knowledge of experience. I received credit in my theory and distinction in my practical, and will be pursuing a career in nursing. My experience on the practicum site was tremendous, because when I was on practical, everyone there thought I was already a certified nurse, and not knowing that I was just a student. HeCoin has an excellent payment plan. You don't have to worry about how you're going to pay your tuition fee. You don't have to borrow a student loan. No, all you need to do is Get yourself registered, make your first payment, and then make monthly payments afterwards. HeCoin is one of the best nursing institutions to attend because their certifications are recognized internationally. Being a HeCoin graduate makes me a proud nurse, and with HeCoin, your dreams become reality. Choose HeCoin.
As we look forward with great anticipation for a new academic year, September 2022, preparation is key for parents, teachers, and students. Come and relax with HeCoin. We'll examine how prepared we should be to start a new academic year amidst the global pandemic of COVID-19 and monkeypox. How prepared are our teachers with so many resignations, not only in Jamaica, but in every state in the USA and many other countries, including the Caribbean? How can our students be prepared for the uncertainty of whether there will be available subject teachers? Competent and experienced guests will be on our show to examine how to prepare our parents, educators, and students for what is said to be an interesting academic year, 2022 to 2023. Join host, educator, media and marketing consultant, and professor of media studies for over 30 years, Ambassador Professor Reverend Dr. Colin O'Neill Jarrett from Jamaica. The date to remember, Thursday, September 1, 2022 at 7:30 p.m. in Jamaica and 8:30 p.m. in other parts of the world on several media platforms to include RCP Internet Radio and TV, UFTV Gospel, DCM Internet Radio and TV, and all platforms of TDN. HeCoin, where your dreams can now be your reality.
Again, our deepest apologies for being late with this program. We all have mental health. Your mental health affects you and how you feel, how you think, and how you act. It refers to your emotional, psychological, and social well-being. Undiagnosed, untreated, and inadequately treated mental issues and illnesses can significantly interfere with a student's ability to learn, grow, and develop. Since children spend much of their productive time in educational settings, schools offer a unique opportunity for early identification, prevention, and interventions that serve students where they already are. When using the term parental mental health problems, is to mean that a parent or carrier has a diagnosable mental health condition, which could include depression, anxiety disorders, or schizophrenia. We have lost many teachers in Jamaica for lucrative jobs overseas. Many teachers have died because they lost the coping tools to deal with mental health. This has left teachers, students, and parents traumatized. With us to look at this important topic, as parents, students, and teachers prepare for the new academic year, we have experts in the field who can guide the education sector on how to cope with mental health issues. Our guests in the boardroom of Come and Relax with HeCoin are Didan Ashanta, author, educator, and resilient strategist, founder, Resilient Foreigner Limited in Newfoundland, which is part of the province called Newfoundland and Labrador in Canada. And Stacey Brown, author, life coach, former guidance counselor, associate counseling psychologist, and early childhood educator in the USA, both proud Jamaican nationals. Great having you both in Come and Relax with HeCoin. Good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending where you are.
Thank you, Professor. It's a pleasure to be back.
And Stacey.
Good evening, everyone. It's a delight and an honor to be with you this and that program.
Very well, very well. Didan has been with us and she seems to be a regular guest. So she's all the way up in Canada. I think they are 2.5 hours ahead of us. So she's almost on the sleeping side. But let's go on. Persons are listening. Thousands of persons are listening at this time. Now, Stacey, what is the difference? We have already set the pace. I clearly define mental health. And in order to lay the foundation, now I want you as a guidance counselor to talk about the difference between mental health and mental well-being.
Okay, so mental health has to do with the condition of one's emotions, thoughts, and his or her social experience. And mental well-being has to do with how you are feeling as well as how you are functioning. So the well-being is the functioning, and the mental health is the condition of your emotions and thoughts and how you reach out to your social network.
Okay, and Didan, could you bring us through five? I know there are more than five, but five signs of mental illness.
Of course. So, what one quick statistic that I'd like to share as we think about children and mental health from psychiatric.org, it says that mental health begins, 50% of these illnesses begin by age 14, and 75% of these illnesses show up by 24 years. So, the children that we have in from elementary, high school, all the way up to university, they are all at risk for mental health challenges and mental illness. And while we may be familiar with a lot of the extreme changes, like maybe the person has changed eating habits, sleeping habits, their mood is erratic, or those kind of obvious, they have strange behaviors, there are some subtle changes that could be sudden and extreme that we overlook. And these are changes in the way someone thinks, the way they feel, and the way they're acting. It can be as simple as someone always being exhausted or having lots of aches and pains that they can't explain. It can be where someone becomes very perfectionistic. They don't want to submit any work or do anything or show up anywhere until every hair is in place, every outfit must be perfect. Or suddenly they have low performance. So they used to do very well in a particular subject area, now it falls off. It can be where they start feeling emotionally numb. Someone very close to them gets injured and they have no reaction to it, or they accomplish a significant grade or some other accomplishment, and it's nothing to them. Everyone else is celebrating and they're like, it's no big deal. And then the final one I'd suggest is where there's a tendency to procrastinate or to withdraw. So you need things to be done and you never submit it. You're always putting it off. You're never getting things done, or you simply just stop doing things that you are usually interested in.
Interesting. Interesting. I see Stacia looking like she wants to talk, but hold your ground, hold your ground. According to a recent report in the USA, the percentage of students going for college mental health counseling has been rising in recent years, which by report, anxiety is the most common factor. Depression as the second, stress as the third, family issues as the fourth, and academic performance and relationship problems as the fifth and sixth. Let's examine this now. And I want to start with Stacia. Let's look at the first three, Stacia. And then Diana, you can look at the last three or three of the last four.
Okay, so first three you mentioned, talking about anxiety. Anxiety is really, researchers have helped us to understand that anxiety is imagining a worst scenario occurring and believing that that could really. And so the person might feel threatened by being nervous about events or situations. And there are a lot of examples of anxiety, like you have some persons who suffer from social anxiety, going out to mingle. And you have some persons also who, you talk about test anxiety, so on and so forth. You also have talk about depression. That's the second issue. Depression is really thinking or ruminating over aspects of your life that is accompanied by a mood. So a mood of sadness and a mood where you would lose interest in normal activities of life. Depression also show up in the lack of taking care of the regular things that you do, such as the hair, the taking care of the body, caring about how you present yourself. It's also isolating, staying away from your family or friends for different reasons. And you talk about the third one, stress. Stress is really one's response to the happenings of life. It's like a change that cause you to it causes strain in your emotions as well as your physical and psychological aspect of your life. So anything that causes strain or discomfort, some people say stress is like everyday cause you to respond of how you would have.
At the end, you were having a little distortion with your internet, perhaps, but we got it clear. And what I find with these children is that even the small ones, 6-year-olds, they are telling us that they're stressed out, and I'm here wondering, how can a 6-year-old be stressed out? But that's just life now. Didan, can you look at the other three, please?
It's interesting that you point out the thought that would say, how can a 6-year-old be stressed out? Because the
Yes.
very first thing I want to point to family issues. We have another Jamaican who, a pediatrician who works in the US, lives in the US, and she gives an excellent TED talk talking about adverse childhood experiences. And basically, it is saying from infancy up to adulthood, or even you'd say, let's say during the early childhood years, whenever children either experience directly or they witness, they're exposed to certain traumatic events. It could be all the different forms of abuse. It could be neglect. It could be where one parent or family member has a mental illness and that child lives in the same house, where one parent is incarcerated, where one parent witnesses, where the child witnesses their mother being abused. It could be where there's substance abuse in the house or the parents don't live together. All of these experiences can create what are called core wounds that stay with a child. So that 6-year-old that says they're stressed out, believe them, they are stressed out. And a lot of the times we don't understand if we can be stressed out by, we'd say, simple problems of life. A child who still hasn't figured out what emotion is good and what emotion is bad, how to express themselves, how to find solutions to their problems, they are fully stressed out. When you talk about academic performance, sometimes the expectations don't align. So maybe parents have a certain expectation of the child performing a particular way, and maybe what is happening at school is not supporting the child's ability to move forward. And so they don't have the support, they probably don't have the necessary study skills to apply themselves. And so these things will stress them out and affect their mental health. When you think about relationship problems, this is talking about their social circle. I can't begin to express, especially in elementary school, high school, the amount of issues that children face with as it deals with their peers and their ability to understand the troubles and we'd say the mix up. And then there are the romantic relationships where they get into, sometimes they feel that they are taken up with these relationships and it affects them and they can't concentrate. So these are some of the challenges they face.
Yeah, powerful. And we can't underestimate these, especially for college students. So you touched a very important point about the 6-year-old. It's a sign and we need to watch it. Now, Stacia, as a guidance counselor and a counseling psychologist, what should educators look for in a child's behavior that could suggest that mental health issues are evident in the child?
Um, a while ago, Dad and talk about watch for and how the child.
We're having internet issues. We're not hearing you clearly. I'm looking for studio to indicate to me on the other phone what is happening. But from time to time, these issues do come up. I have to be muting my phone so that we can hear you clearly. But let's see, start over. Let's see what's happening now.
Okay, we apologize for that, but yeah, something's out of our control. All right, so some signs that our educators can look for. Uh, Watch the behavior, right? There is normally change in behavior. For example, how the child is interacting with his or her peer. Is it that the child is withdrawing from regular activities? How the child responds to the teacher, as well as his or her classmates or school family. Look for signs of sadness. You can look for some outbursts. You'll see it in outbursts. So you know that child is normally not necessarily a quiet, but one that is a balanced, and how she relates or he relates to her classmates. But suddenly there is this outburst outside of how he or she would normally behave. When students are avoiding classes or school for that matter, change in their grades or in their performance. These are just a few signs. And sometimes watch how physical they are getting, level of aggression, how aggressive are they. And you will find that sometimes they show up in fights and or quarrels. These are just some of the signs that there are stuff happening with the child.
We have to look out for those areas very importantly, especially at the start of the academic year. Now, Didan, you have had the experience of meeting people from all walks of life. In case perhaps she didn't want to tell you, she worked in Japan, so she speaks Japanese fluently, and she works with resilient issues and immigration and other areas. What can educators do in the classroom to minimize mental health issues? Didan, were you hearing me a while ago? We're not hearing you. Have you muted or still not hearing you? All right, we hope that she will return. We have been having issues, not sure, where they are, but let's see what happens. Are you back now, Didan? We're still not hearing you. We are, yes, I think.
Now we're hearing, yes.
What? No, you're gone again. So you touched something that made you come on for a split of a second. All right. As you know, we are looking at mental health issues in the classroom and in the home, and especially at the beginning of the academic year. Are you now hearing? Are you now? She's gone again. Studio. Can we take a break, studio, and resume momentarily with the GEP TV?
Want to study in a recession-proof career online? Health Education and Counseling Institute HECOIN offers international diplomas in phlebotomy technician, emergency medical technician, dental technician, and pharmacy technician, which are internationally recognized. We have intakes every other month. Visit www.hecoinglobal.com or call our WhatsApp 876-223-7204. HECOIN, your dreams can now be your reality.
Okay, we are back now. Thank you. Didan, are we able to hear you? Didan?
Can you hear me now?
I'm hearing you now. Lots of prayers are going up. When we touch issues of this nature, you expect the devil to attack us. So I'm asking the prayer warriors to just pray, lift us up at this time, because we are dealing with issues affecting our children and the classroom and the family. Okay, now back to you, Daida. You have had the experience of meeting people from all walks of life with immigration and resilient issues. What can educators do in the classroom to minimize mental health issues?
Well, the first thing is to remember that it's not just a genetic thing or because of biochemical imbalances. Severe long-term stress or crisis can lead to mental health problems, mental health illnesses. So for every student that's in your classroom, please try to remember that he or she or they are a person, and they might be impacted by experiences that are outside of their control, and they need your support as one human to another. Teachers need to balance their evaluation goals with the personal development needs of children, and looking at those children and the challenges that they may be bringing into the classroom from the home. Teachers, I'm asking you, create a space where students can acknowledge their emotions, express their emotions, and have a safe space to share what kind of crises they're dealing with so they can get help. I think you're muted, Professor.
Efforts to care for the emotional well-being of children and youth can extend beyond the classroom and into this entire school. School-based mental health programs can focus on promoting mental wellness, preventing mental health problems, and providing treatment. To what extent do you believe in this, and what programs in schools would you recommend? Starting with Didan and then with Stacia.
Well, definitely, I would recommend any kind of meditation programs where children learn how to quiet their thoughts and to just give rest to their brains. Deep breathing exercises, journaling activities, so they have a place to let off all those thoughts and feelings that they're struggling with and trying to figure out. And through restorative justice, I don't know how many people are familiar with restorative justice, where you have talking circles within a classroom that students learn how to respectfully listen and how to confidently express themselves, especially when there is disagreement of opinions and strong feelings. Creating those opportunities for children to learn how it is to effectively communicate to others, even when you don't agree.
Stacia.
Oh, sure. I do believe that programs are important to help with the mental health issues regarding our kids. And so what I would suggest is that opportunities are given for frequent focus group sessions where the students can get the opportunity to express some of the things that they are experiencing, where they get the opportunity to say how they feel and to hear from other students that they are also having similar experience or they know someone who might have. I want to suggest also that students get involved in the school's extracurricular activities, as this is a way for them to sort of help with their emotions as well as get them moving, because as you know, there is no mental health without physical health or physical without mental health. And what I would suggest also is that the school's guidance program, this includes so many events that are geared towards the students as well as staff, everybody. So if they could get involved in those prevention and intervention strategies that are available from the guidance department, that would be awesome, right? And I would recommend that they not only talk, but like they get involved in this program because it does have resources to help students, teachers, auxiliaries.
Okay. How, and I want Stacia to answer this one, and then Didan to answer the other one that I'll ask. How can persons teach about mental health in the classroom? Stacy, I want to ask you that one because you where you are in the system, then it might give a little more credence to it.
Okay, how can you teach mental health in the classroom? It actually begins with the administration of the schools, knowing that it's not just academics that we are about, but also the child. We have to cater to the total child, and so admin, the guidance unit, and I'm talking like Ministry of Education, whichever region there is, along with the guidance department, train personnel to identify symptoms of mental health issues. And not only that, but teachers also can help their students by identifying how they are feeling, right? It's not just about academics, but it's also the socio emotional aspect of the child, and that needs to be cared for. So, before anything else, just have, I'm talking about teachers, have the students check in. It is so important that they are able to check in before you go into the math and the reading, so on. Just have a circle time so they can check in and say, okay, this is how I'm feeling, this is what I can do, and then you have that level of communicating with their the guidance department or school admin to say, hey, I noticed this is happening, and so we need to provide a resource for this child because I suspect that there might be some mental health slash well-being issues that are having. So just provide them with the opportunity to express themselves.
Very important, Stacey. And I see, you see, when you have to deal with both ladies who are educators, I see Didan wanting to say something. Didan, could you just add to what Stacey said, and then we go with your input in the other question?
I'm just here cheering on because I 100% endorse everything that was just said. Definitely. Thanks, Professor. Well, if we're gonna teach about mental health in the home, I'm going to tag back to what I shared earlier about those adverse childhood experiences. A lot of us adults are walking around with suppressed trauma, really horrible experiences that we don't even talk about to anybody, and we are raising children. And so, if we as parents don't recognize those traumas and acknowledge that this thing that I either experienced or I witnessed had a damaging effect on the way I show up in the world. Once we can recognize our own traumas and find out what are the core wounds, these things that I've been carrying for so long, I couldn't talk to this person about it, or no one helped me work through it,
Mm-hmm.
get some help, seek out that healing support. So whether you're going to go to a professional, a mental health professional, or you're going to go to a support group, or if you feel like you want to work on it on your own and you get books and you enroll in programs to figure it out, do the work to heal, because a broken parent cannot help a child who is suffering. So we have to start first by recognizing our traumas, getting the help to heal, and then we can model the emotional competence to the children to show them this is how you deal with adversity, challenges and difficult situations by modeling it for them.
Powerful ladies. Yes, Stacia, go ahead.
I was just reflecting while Diane was speaking, and she made a very important point, and I want to talk a little bit on it too. That parents sometimes don't realize that they are probably not probably they are one of the first teacher that really is in the child's life. So they are to become aware that children are people. They are little real people with real issues and concerns. And I learned that from my kids. I was like, you say, Mom, you forget that we are kids, but kids are kids with feelings. We have feelings too. So help them to identify, you know, how is it that they are feeling? What are the thoughts that they're having? And help them to find ways to express it, provide them with resources. Some simple things we can do as parents to help our children with mental health issues. Art is a very much unused mode of helping kids with their mental health, and not only art but also getting them outside to be active, to get active, physical. Remember, I'm gonna show off my arm. No, I cannot say that. But when we were younger, we were outside, and sometimes even that help us with our mental health, help the kids to get more physical and active also. Sorry.
Very well, and those of us would remember that we had hopscotch and games outside. Now everybody's on tablet, so they really don't get to go outside. But I don't want to dwell too much on that, but I'm sure you understand. As we approach our final segment, rest, R-E-S-T, is very important for mental state, and our guests shall examine the 7 types of rest that every person needs. Grab your bottle of water, a glass of water, as we take our final break. Stay tuned. Soon come.
Health Education and Counseling Institute HeCoin offers certificates in housekeeping, food and beverage, customer care, security guard, events planning, and many other short courses, which are all offered online with 8 intakes each year. Visit www.hecoinglobal.com or call our WhatsApp 876-223-7204. HeCoin, reaching people where they are, leading them to where they should go. Royal Central Praise RCP Internet Radio and TV in St. Kitts invites you to listen to Caribbean News Brief CNB on Tuesdays and Fridays at 10 a.m. Join Caribbean veteran in news production and news presentation for over 30 years, Ambassador Professor Reverend Dr. Colin O'Neill Jarrett from Jamaica, for reliable and comprehensive news in the Caribbean. CNB on RCP every Tuesday and Friday at 10 in the morning. RCP, the breath of fresh air.
Requesting for additional platforms if they could extend tonight's program for another 15 minutes. I'm sure all of them are listening me. If not, then persons who are outside of the Royal Central Praise platform, then I may have to ask you to listen to the YouTube presentation, which comes up 30 minutes after the show ends, on either Central Praise SKB, which is Central Praise SKB, the SKB is for St. Kitts Basseterre, and the CARWH would be for Come and Relax with HeCoin. So any of those two, or you can go straight into the Royal Central Praise Live.com platform at about in another 10-15 minutes, where you can hear the continuation of the program. Thank you, guests, for remaining with us, Didan and Stacia. Now, Sandra Dalton Smith, MD, a physician, researcher, and author of the book Sacred Rest, Recover Your Life, Renew Your Energy, Restore Your Sanity, says sleep and rest are not the same thing, although many of us incorrectly confuse the two. We go through life thinking we have rested because we have gotten enough sleep. But in reality, we are missing out on the other types of rest we desperately need. The result is a culture of high achieving, high producing, chronologically tired, and chronically burned out individuals. We are suffering from a rest deficit because we do not understand the true power of rest. Dr. Dalton Smith continues to say rest should be equal restoration in 7 key areas of life. Now, Stacia, I want you to look at the first three that Dr. Dalton Smith spoke about very quickly as you can, not to go through it too fast, and then Dylan will pick up on the last four.
All right. So rest is a great tool that we do not necessarily use all the time and sometimes properly. Rest actually restores and rejuvenates. And so we talk about the seven rest, physical rest, and this involves sleep. But sleep is sometimes dependent on how old the person is and what is happening in the person's life. So you need that. You need that physical rest that will help you to rejuvenate and come back feeling better so you can take other things on. We got to know how to work that out. Mental rest, really, it's learning to take breaks and to step away from experiences or situations, and that a lot of people do not know how to do, and so that is one of the reasons too that contribute to mental health issues, not being able to know when to take mental rest. And we talk about emotional rest too. Emotional rest is looking at how is it, how much you are depositing, how much energy you are depositing in terms of your emotions, especially those worrying and judging emotion, judging yourself in a negative way. So we gotta know how to remove ourselves from those kind of energy and just rest emotionally, rest mentally, and learn to rest physically.
Thank you, Dylan.
Okay, well, I'll pick up from there and start with the sensory type of rest, where this is when you start to disconnect. You think of your five senses, and the biggest source of stress for your sensory uh, restoration is the devices. So find some time to put away the devices, lock it away, and just allow your eyes and your brain and your ears and everything to relax. For social rest, we have to decide whether we are being deprived of important connections, and so we need to go around the people who fill up our joy bucket, who make us feel good about ourselves and feel just recharged. Or if we are being drained by the people around us, then we need to practice solitude. Take away yourself and just get alone and be powered back up to go back to those draining people if you can't avoid them. And then there is the spiritual rest, and this can be through prayer or meditation. It can be through times of fellowship that you have if you're a part of a spiritual community, or it can simply be being engaged with your community. But because living purposefully, being able to impact the world around you really refills you and recharges you spiritually. So those are the ones that I would mention. So that would have been, creative. I left off that one. Your creative rest is when you decide to go off on a nature walk, when you take a book and you read it casually, not reading it because you need to study something, or you're trying to learn some new technique, but just casual, pleasant, entertaining reading. It can be if you decide to just create something for the sake of creating. So you're not good at drawing, but you sit down with a coloring book and you use those crayons and you color in the pictures. Or it could be you try a new recipe and you go in the kitchen and you cook a new meal, a new dish. That's
Yeah.
a part of creative rest. So those are some of the restorative habits that we can take on to make sure that we are resting completely.
And it could be crossword puzzle too. Some
Yes.
people use that,
Yes.
as a means, right? In our final segment now, Stacia, I want you to recommend 3 tips to our parents and teachers to help them to lower their mental stress during this academic year. And then Didan, 3 tips to our students to help them to lower their mental stress during this academic year.
Okay, so during this academic year, I want to recommend to our parents that they practice to take the time to breathe. Just take the time to pause and close your eyes, breathe, especially when you are concerned about where the books and the uniforms are gonna be coming from and how the lunch money and all of that. But just take the time to breathe and relax. Take the time for self-care also. Don't forget that. Take the time to charge your power bank, because there is no way a parent can care for his or her kids when your power bank is empty. And we just talk about rest. That is extremely important. And the third thing for parents is that don't be afraid to reach out and ask for help. If it's becoming unbearable or you find where it's closing in on you, just use your mouth. Open up your mouth and speak, right? And for teachers, I would recommend the same thing. Before you start your day, take the time to center yourself. Whether you do that through devotions, whether you do that through exercise or breathing, take that time for yourself. Take a break also. A lot of teachers just go throughout the day without paying attention to themselves. There's no break, there's no lunchtime because they are so driven by what they are doing. But learn to take that break. Remember, if you drop right now, you can be easily replaced. So you gotta take the time to cater for yourself and to not, I talk about the parents also recharging themselves. You are the power bank. You are your own power bank. You need your energy. So ensure that you are charged. Just like how you charge your phone, take the time to charge yourself. That's what I would recommend to our parents and teachers.
For
Didan?
students, I would ask you to focus on building your relationship capital. We are not islands, we cannot thrive alone. And so, what does building your relationship capital mean? Number one, find a mentor. Find someone who you can look up to. They might not be going to the ultimate dream that you have, but they're ahead of you, and get guidance from that person. Number two, try and connect with your mates, your classmates, your schoolmates, your playmates, anyone who is on the same path as you, whether they're in the same grade, they're taking the same courses, they have the same aspirations for professional development, because these will be your partners when you need to study, when you need to work on projects, when you need to relax and have fun. And then finally, try and find opportunities to serve your community, because it's not just about you getting all the learning and getting all the support. If we don't give, if we don't add to other people's lives, if we don't try to make a positive impact on our society, then we will never grow, we will never heal, we will never change. So focus on building your relationship capital, get a mentor, connect with your mates, and try to serve your community.
Very well. Both ladies, you have done exceptional. Irrespective of the internet issues we had, we came off. I think the professional standing of both of you would have prepared our parents, teachers, and students for an excellent academic year, irrespective of the pandemic and monkeypox and other diseases that may come upon us. We are now prepared. In closing, Stacia and Didan, you both have businesses. I want you to share it with our people. Have your email addresses ready to share and your contact details. Start with Stacia and then with Didan.
Okay, so I am into the business of coaching people, and when I say people, I'm talking about single and married women, helping them to navigate their socio-emotional experience so that they can progress in their growth. I am also into the business of educating and counseling. I am also the author of The Process that is available on Amazon. And the process, all things work for your good. And I am in the process also of starting an individual coaching business. So you can find me on YouTube, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and email can be staceyambrown3@gmail.com. And you want to reach out, you have permission, Dr. Jarrett, to share other contact details.
Sure, sure. And your Stacia is Stacia.
Yes,
Correct.
STI.
Okay. Didon?
Well, I am the founder and CEO of Resilient Foreigner. So that means I work with international students and foreign workers, like so many of the teachers who have gone abroad, and support them through the process of adapting to these new locations that they have moved to and equipping them to thrive in those host countries. So I serve as a migrant integration consultant and a resilience strategist. Now, in the previous show that I had the privilege of being a guest on, I spoke a bit about some of the services that I offer there. But today, because we're focusing on mental health supports, I want to invite all the guests, all the listeners and viewers to check out my podcast. It's the Died on Ashanta podcast. You can find it on Spotify. And these episodes are quite short because nobody has the time. So anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes, I give you a lot of insights into how you can thrive through life's storms, and I equip you with how to live with simplicity, joy, and resilience, because those are my three highest values. So if you're interested, either go to Spotify and search the Dad and Ashanta podcast, or you can visit tinyurl.com/the DA podcast. That's for Dad and Ashanta, the DA podcast. And you can find me on Instagram, Resilient Foreigner, and my email address is info@resilientforeigner.com. I hope to hear from you and to get all of you listening and building up your personal resilience through the podcast.
You know, take over my program, man. That's nice. Very nice to hear two Jamaican ladies who have done very well. I know personally Stacia because she's a Baptist and then migrated to USA. Died, and I hope one of these days when I get into Canada or you visit Jamaica, then we can meet. But I'm really proud of you ladies for sharing with us today on mental health issues of the home and school as we approach a new academic year 2022-2023 for most of us beginning Monday, September 5. We wish for you all the best in your business ventures, Stacia and Didan. God bless you both.
Thank you, Dr. Jack.
Thank you. My mute button was holding me back.
Okay,
Thank
that's
you,
fine.
Professor. It was a pleasure being here again.
Very well. For persons who wish to make a donation to come and relax with KeyCoin and what's on for next week are in the queue. Stay tuned.
Come and Relax with HeCoin is a feature of Health Education and Counseling Institute HeCoin, the premier online educational institution in the Caribbean. For individuals, companies, and foundations that wish to donate or contribute to this program, which is primarily to provide solutions to the worldwide issues of the day, please call in or WhatsApp your donation. 1-876-223-7204 on Thursdays between 8:30 p.m. and 10 p.m. EST, or during work hours Monday through Friday 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. EST, or email president@hecoinglobal.com. HeCoin, reaching people where they are, leading them to where they should go. Come and relax with HeCoin, the voice of Health Education and Counseling Institute, the premier educational online institution in the world, will look at investment opportunities. An investment is an asset or item acquired with the goal of generating income or appreciation. Appreciation refers to an increase in the value of an asset over time. When an individual purchases a good as an investment, the intent is not to consume the good, but rather to use it in the future for creating wealth. Join guest Hope P. Anderson, financial services professional and licensed agent for New York Life Insurance Company in the USA. Join host, business educator, media and marketing consultant, and professor of media studies for over 30 years, Ambassador Professor Reverend Dr. Colin O'Neill Jarrett from Jamaica, as he and his guest opens doors for investment opportunities. The date to remember, Thursday, September 8, 2022 at 7:30 p.m. in Jamaica and 8:30 p.m. in other parts of the world on several media platforms to include RCP Internet Radio and TV, UFDV Gospel, DCM Internet Radio and TV, and all platforms of TDN. HeCoin, where your dreams can now be your reality.
Come and relax with HeCoin came to you today from Mansell East Meets West Indian Restaurant, shop at 16A Sonis Plaza, Main Street, Oteria, St. Anne, Jamaica. Call Latoya Brown or Hensel Wright for your restaurant booking at 1-876-601-2612 or email at info@corryhouseja.net. Excellent setting here at Mansell East Meets West Indian Restaurant for meetings, weddings, and other events. My apologies for the background music, which indicates that I am really in the restaurant and the restaurant is actually full at this moment. Let me thank the following stations for sharing the platform and for making this program available to you. RCP Internet Radio and TV, YouTube and Facebook, TDN TV on vstreams.com, TDN TV on Facebook, TDN Network 1 on YouTube, UFDV Gospel, and DCM Radio and TV on all its platforms. Today's show will be uploaded on YouTube in less than 30 minutes on CARWH, which is the acronym for Come and Relax with HeCoin. CARWH and Central Praise SKB, that's Central Praise SKB. We are still in Jamaica 60. And so I will leave a beautiful poem written by the Honorable Dr. Louis Benny Coverly OJ and performed by Amanda Douglas of Mona Preparatory School in St. Andrew, Jamaica. No little twang, dry foot boy, done in the Jamaican language. A thought for you this week, and all of us should know this. Say it with me, please. Labor for learning before you grow old. For learning is better than silver and gold. Silver and gold will vanish away, but a good education will never decay. By Desmond Decker. Join us this and every Thursday at this time for Come and Relax with HeCoin, sponsored by HeCoin. I'm Ambassador Professor Reverend Dr. Colin O'Neill Jarrett, the proud president and CEO and in the second generation of leadership of this 33-year-old flagship training institution in Jamaica, the Caribbean, and beyond, Health Education and Counseling Institute. Please now receive the benediction. May the strength of God sustain us. May the power of God preserve us. May the hands of God protect us. May the way of God direct us. May the love of God go with us this day, now, and forevermore. Amen and amen. Walk good, my friend.
Little Twang by Louise Bennett Coverly. Me glad to see you come back, boy, but Lord, you let me down. Me share my use till all of me proudness drop a ground. You really go to America and spend 6 whole months there and come back. Not a piece better than how you did go eh? Boy, you not shame. It's so you come after your tan so long. Not even little language, boy. Not even little swung. And your sister, what work only 1 week with American. She talks so nice now that we have to deduce if we understand. Why? You couldn't improve yourself and you get so much You spend 6 months of foreign and come back ugly. Same way. Not even a drapes trousers, why? Or a pass to read him quote. Not even a gold teeth. Or a gold chain round your throat. Suppose me last me pass, go introduce you to one stranger. As me lamented son who likely come from American. Them woulda laugh after me, boy. Me couldn't tell them so. Them woulda say me lie. You was a spend time back Moko. No back chat me, boy. You chat too bad. Shut up your mouth. I don't know how you and your papa go and make it up. But if you want please him, make him think say you bring back something new. You always call him pa. This evening when him come, say poo. Little Twang by Louise Bennett Coverley. Me glad to see you come back, boy. But, lad, you let me down. Me share my you till all of me proudness drop a ground. You really go to America and spend 6 whole months there and come back. Not a piece better than how you did go eh? Boy, you not shame. It's so you come after your tan so long. Not even little language, boy. Not even little swung. And your sister, what work only 1 week with American. She talks so nice now that we have to deduce if we understand. Why? You couldn't improve yourself and you get so much here. You spend 6 months of foreign and come back ugly. Same way. Not even a drapes trousers, why? Or a pass to read him quote. Not even a gold teeth or a gold chain round your throat. Suppose me last me pass, go introduce you to one stranger. As me lamented son who likely come from American. Them woulda laugh after me, boy. Me couldn't tell them so. Them woulda say me lie. You was a spend time back Moko. No back chat me, boy. You chat too bad. Shut up your mouth. I don't know how you and your papa go and make it up. But if you want please him, make him think say you bring back something new. You always call him pa. This evening when him come, say